1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show.
The most recent one was one we from time to time we would have what they call a congregation do, where we just hire a hall, and we just get the sound system in, get some food in. Usually you'd have to patronize the venue by buying your own drinks, so they can make money. But you're allowed to bring food in. There's a venue that we use, very local to the congregation anyway. And I couldn't say that I've had a drink, because I know I always have a shandy, half pints and a shandy, half pint of a shandy, and that's all I've had that night. It was coming to the end of the night, and there was another friend's wife, and I went to her, and she brought her friend to the do. She invited her friend, which I don't know. I've never met her before. And I went to her friend, and I said, oh, I've never seen your face before. And she said, oh no, I'm Dorcas's friend. Oh, you're Dorcas's friend? I said, oh. She said, why? And I said, I won't be friends with her. It was a joke.
It was a joke, but probably badly told.
It wasn't badly told. And, I don't have a problem with Dorcas. She's quite nice. And Dorcas overheard it, and she said, "What did you say?" I said, "She's friends with you." I said, "Oh, what?" and the whole night, I spent the whole night after I've said that joke. Even though after I said it, I immediately said it was a joke.
Yeah.
But then the next day, I actually rang her up and apologized. And she said, "What are you apologizing about?" I said, "Well, I told a really stupid joke, didn't I?" And she said, "I knew it was a joke." I said, "Really?" I said, "Oh my days." I said, "I know it's a joke." I said, "But the way it came out." And she said, "Oh, don't worry about it." She said, "I know you." I said, "You wouldn't." She said, you wouldn't say bad things about me." I said, "No, I wouldn't." I said, "Why should I?" And but I still feel guilty about the jokes. So now I tend to not tell jokes very much.
I don't blame you. But on thinking about things that you decide, how many thoughts would you say, or do you think we average on humans average on a daily basis? How many thoughts do you think you and I, on average, will have today?
On average, how many thoughts have I had this morning? I've had the thoughts about the dream. I've had the thoughts about... Right, so I would say, for me, and I could be horribly wrong, but I'd say 50 thoughts in a day.
50?
Yeah, 50.
50. 50. Yeah. Well, let me tell you what the scientists tell us. Much depends on the definition of a thought, but obviously it's a new thing that's entered our heads, and we don't really get too much control on that. It's between 6,000 and 70,000 every day. Wow. Now, in fact, a more recent study said there are 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day. Some estimates, it says here, differ, such as those from the Laboratory of Neuroimaging, but they actually suggest that the
1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show. It's hosted by Cuz. He'll introduce the gang who'll make the show go with a bang. With fun.
Suggests that the thought generates about 48.6 thoughts per minute. which amounts to roughly 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day. I mean, we can't imagine that. We can't really get our heads around that, can we? Okay, my next question then would be, do you ever get, or do you sometimes get, unwanted thoughts entering your mind, your brain, which you haven't bidden, you haven't wanted to think about? Does something suddenly come into your mind that is an unwanted thought? Maybe it's a fear. Maybe you suddenly thought, you imagined you were getting on an aeroplane. I know you're frightened of flying, but do you ever get what we would say is unwanted thoughts?
Yeah, I think everybody does.
Yeah.
I think every human being does have unwanted thoughts in their heads. And I'm definitely one of those who would say I get loads. I actually fight a lot of negative thoughts every day. And I'm not saying,
That was my next question. Do you get negative
yeah,
thoughts?
I do fight a lot of negative thoughts in my head. And I'm not even gonna say every day. I'm gonna say like every hour. There's a negative thought in my head about something either going wrong or me doing something really, really out of character. And it doesn't alarm me. It really does not alarm me because I know that the thought process of every human is flawed. And so it doesn't alarm me. I think when you have those thoughts, what you don't want is allowing those thoughts to linger. You don't want it lingering because that's where the problem is. You will get those thoughts, but don't allow it to linger, because if it lingers, there's the chances that you might act on it, or you might start to deliberate on it and desire
Yeah.
whatever those thoughts are, and they're not nice thoughts, but
Are you
they're there.
someone, yeah, are you someone who believes in, if you like, the power of positive thinking, that it's much better to think positively? I mean, just a good phrase I've long remembered is, those who think they can and those who think they can't are both right. And I think that's very powerful, that phrase, because it's saying that so much depends, if we want to achieve something or do something, whatever, so much depends on our approach to it. If we think we can do it, then that's halfway there, really, and the opposite is true as well. So would you say you try to be...
1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show. It's hosted by Cuz. He'll introduce the gang who'll make the show go with a bang.